Welcome back to the thrilling crime-solving journey of Xu Qi'an in the Nightwatcher, Chapter 40. The Struggle. Li Mo Bai stood before the announcement wall, watching as more and more students gathered around it. Even the professors from the academy had made their way there, drawn by the sound of excitement. After reading the poem, they clapped their thighs in delight, praising its simplicity and profound wisdom. Li Daishao's ears twitched as he caught snippets of conversation drifting in with the mountain breeze. Once there was a poem titled, "Who in the World Does Not Know You?" And now a new one advocating for learning. Could it be that our great Phoenix literary scene is finally making a comeback? Another voice chimed in. In the last 200 years, there have been few outstanding works in poetry. To see two emerge one after the other, it's like a reward for our long-suffering scholars. There's no doubt this new poem will spread far and wide. It seems destined to be cited in lessons for aspiring scholars. Another added. But why is there no signature? Who is the great scholar behind it? The whispers faded, leaving a sense of growing excitement. But Li Mo Bai felt a shiver run down his spine as he noticed his two friends engrossed in hushed talk. Without making a sound, he slipped away from the crowd. "Where did Chun Jing go?" Zhang Shen asked, glancing around in confusion. "He was just here." Chen Tai pointed toward the wall. "Over there." Zhang Shen followed his gaze and saw Li Mo Bai pushing through the throng of students, pen in hand, scribbling something on a sheet of paper. Their eyes darkened in unison. 100 paces of distance suddenly feeling all too intimate. They watched as Li Mo Bai penned additional words beside the title, advocating for learning. In the year of the metal ox. My teacher, Mo Bai, inspired me towards self-improvement. Moved. I crafted this poem. What? They couldn't believe it. That shameless old coot. Put that pen down. In the quiet confines of the elegant study, nestled against the mountains and flanked by a thundering six-tiered waterfall to the east, and bamboo groves lush and vibrant in all four seasons to the west, tranquility thrived. The northern bamboo, a rare and difficult plant to cultivate, could only thrive in the south, making the vibrant grove behind the library a monumental achievement after decades of relentless care by the library's masters. The students revered the bamboo, often comparing themselves to it, steeping in its resilience and grace. One day, the library's dean, Yun Lu, strolled through. Ah! This forest, unyielding against the cold, standing tall in every season, how much it reflects my own aspirations. Convinced by its spirit, he decided to make this place his sanctuary. Now, this serene study served as a place of secluded reflection for the dean. Inside the small, refined tea room, an elderly man with disheveled gray hair sat across from a young woman adorned in elegant floral attire. A cadre of armored guards stood vigilant outside. The elder, with his unkempt hair and a carefree demeanor, seemed the antithesis of the imposing figure he was head of the Confucian Academy. Opposite him was a young woman in her 20s. Her hair simply arranged with a glinting golden hairpin holding it in place. She was unadorned, yet breathtaking in a flowing light blue gown that brushed the floor, resembling a pristine lotus in bloom, her tranquil eyes reflecting a profound intelligence laced with unapproachable grace. "It's been half a year since we last met," the princess remarked, her voice crisp and clear. "And I see you've acquired more gray hair." "Ah. The burdens of responsibility," the dean chuckled, sipping his tea. "Today, as I climbed the mountain, I overheard the disciples reciting a poem. She recited, 'Do not mourn the absence of a kindred spirit. Who among the world doesn't know of you?'" Her eyes glittered with intrigue. "Such an exceptional work. I would be elated to know the name of its author." Hearing this, Dean Zhao Shou chuckled softly. "Oh, I'm not laughing at you, my princess. I'm merely amused by the talent we have in the academy, yet the authorship lies outside our scholarly ranks." "What do you mean?" she asked. her brow arching in curiosity. The poet is not a scholar but a mere assistant from Changchao County. The princess started, her expression shifting. This princess of the Great Phoenix dynasty wasn't just any noble girl. Unlike your standard cultured lady, she was well versed in the arts, music, poetry, strategy, and literature. She'd studied chess with Wei Yuan, military tactics with Zhang Shen, and governance with Chen Tai. She could recite the classics with ease and penned essays that rivaled the students at the National Academy. At 18, she gained special permission from the emperor himself to participate in the imperial archives. Last year, she attempted a thorough rewrite of the kingdom's historical records but faced intense opposition from the court, ultimately shelving her ambitious project. "Have you ever considered taking an official position?" she proposed earnestly. The way of the Confucian scholar lends itself only so long. Don't let time slip away. Few knew, in truth, that the position of prefect in Qingzhou was originally meant for Zhao Shou. Yet he had declined, nominating the talented Salong instead. Wasting time? Inviting hardship? Should I choose this path for my own enlightenment or open new avenues for future generations? Zhao Shou replied, bowing. Though I've long sought truth among the bamboos, nothing surpasses the intellect of that other man. Your stubborn heart binds you. The princess chided lightly, pouring herself tea. My father wishes you to serve in office, to reinvigorate the fortunes of the academy. For the sake of our students, you ought to accept. Zhao Shou chuckled more bitterly this time. Is it due to Wei Yuan's rising influence, or the skills of noble descendants? It is for the people of the Great Phoenix, she insisted, her voice steady and sincere. Zhao Shou regarded her. Her passionate speech rang with genuine concern. However, he shook his head slowly, gazing out at the verdant bamboo forest swaying outside. It is not that I don't want to help. The moment simply hasn't come yet. The princess's demeanor shifted slightly, her disappointment palpable. Just as she began to gather her things to leave, the hurried footsteps of an academy scholar broke the silence, rushing into the room. Dean, we're in trouble. Li Mo Bai, Zhang Shen, and Chen Tai are fighting. Chapter 41. The poetic talent of a minor official. 3 renowned scholars from the academy were at each other's throats over a philosophical debate that spiraled into chaos. The princess couldn't believe her ears. She had spent time at the Yunlu Academy and knew how these esteemed scholars behaved. The 4 great scholars often engaged in spirited discussions, laughing heartily one moment and arguing vehemently the next. Yet, in all her time there, she had never witnessed them resort to physical confrontation. After all, their status as scholars held great weight. They were expected to be role models, to rise above petty squabbles. So how had it come to blows? Xu Shou furrowed his brow as he placed his teacup down. What happened? The elder scholar shook his head with an air of resignation. I don't know. Mr. Mo Bai was simply writing when the other 2 suddenly charged at him, fists flying. He paused, looking troubled as he continued. One called the other a pathetic old fool, and the other retaliated with shameless cur. Their anger felt all too real. The academy head, typically calm and collected, sensed that something was amiss. The princess turned to him. You must take me with you. Xu Shou responded solemnly. Within a yard of me. All belongs to the Hall of the Saints. The princess's eyes widened, and then she caught sight of the statue of the sage holding a book. Its candles flickering in the chamber filled with swirling green smoke. Outside, the wind howled, gusting into the hall and snuffing out the candles. As she stepped into the fray, her long robes billowed behind her in the tempest, clinging tightly to her form. Despite the thick winter cloak she wore, it did little to hide her graceful figure. She tilted her head toward the sky and, in the distance, saw three great scholars suspended in the air. Each radiated an aura of righteous indignation that clashed with one another, creating a tempest of energy. Zhang Shen scoffed loudly. Li Mo Bai, you shameless rascal! Not only did you poach my disciple, but now you dare to pull this disgraceful act. Have you fed your wisdom to the dogs? Surprised, the princess wondered what Li Mo Bai had done to provoke such fury from Zhang Shen. Fighting over a disciple? Was it even possible for these two to stoop so low? Li Mo Bai retorted, as a teacher, nurturing my disciples' literary talents is nothing to be ashamed of. You are merely envious of my brilliance. Shut your mouth, Zhang Shen shot back. Even I can't stand you. Li Mo Bai shot him a disdainful glance. Zhang, you might have reason to be angry. But what's your allyship with Tran Tai? You should stick to your own affairs. Just then, Zhang Shen pulled out a book, unfazed. Looks like we cannot determine whose righteousness reigns supreme. With a swift motion, he tore out a page and set it alight. The burning page transformed into a swarm of emerald beetles, buzzing angrily toward Li Mo Bai. Years ago, while traveling the world, I came across some spoils, Zhang Shen declared. Without flinching, Li Mo Bai captured his own page, ripped it, and ignited it. The ashes morphed into a vivid crimson lizard, real enough to breathe fire for 10 yards, incinerating Zhang Shen's beetles to ash. At the same moment, another page ignited, transforming into a lithe young woman clad in minimal clothing, gliding toward Zhang Shen. Zhang Shen blinked in shock, momentarily mesmerized. The enchanting figure smiled invitingly as she approached. Just then, Tran Tai ignited his own page, conjuring a radiant golden elixir stone that glimmered brilliantly. Oh no! Li Mo Bai was struck from behind, his balance thrown off by the sudden burst of light, while Zhang Shen seized the opportunity to shake off his bewilderment, redirecting his righteous aura to fend off the approaching young woman. The princess watched in silence, absorbing the spectacle. These scholars, in their sixth realm of mastery, possessed the unique ability to draw powers from alternate systems, documenting their techniques in written form. The conjurations unleashed by Zhang Shen and Li Mo Bai were clearly derived from ancient teachings, while Tran Tai's seemed to align more with Taoist practices. However, the princess couldn't discern their exact rankings. As the three great scholars clashed in the skies, students below could only catch the scent of drama in the air. Their excitement was palpable. Witnessing a confrontation of this caliber was an extraordinary occurrence. A rare sight indeed. Frustrated by his inability to capture Li Mo Bai, Zhang Shen suddenly announced, Li Mo Bai, your pants are falling down. Li Mo Bai felt a chill as he realized his trousers had indeed slipped to his ankles. Damn it! He roared. Everybody's pants are falling down. The gathered crowd gasped, hastily adjusting their outfits. At that moment, a jade pendant hanging from the princess flickered with light, projecting a commanding voice that echoed through the hall. No intrascholastic violence is permitted here. All of you, disperse. With her authoritative words, the intense energies generated by the three scholars began to dissipate, and they were pulled back to the ground, regaining their composure. Xu Shou approached the three, his gaze steadfast and piercing. What is going on here? Zhang Shen and Li Mo Bai exchanged silent glances, unity reigning in their moment of shared mischief. Zhang Shen huffed, it's nothing, just a difference of opinion on scholarly pursuits. No one could convince the other. Li Mo Bai chimed in, perhaps we need to adopt a more constructive method of persuasion. Reasoning is the Confucian way. Headmaster, you should know those two are lying. Tran Tai interjected suddenly, striking both like a thunderclap. Taken aback, Zhang Shen and Li Mo Bai turned to glare at him. Tran Tai pointed toward a notice on the wall, saying, You are familiar with the poem, Farewell to Xu Qi'an by the Mianyang Pavilion. Right. Xu Shou's attention shifted to the wall, focusing intently. His eyes widened as he recognized the characters. It struck him that Zhang and Li were both envious of the honors of the esteemed Ziyang recluse. For the poem had garnered significant acclaim. Its fame could last through generations, so it was no surprise they had clashed over it. But wait, their furtive exchanges hinted at something deeper. Xu Shou's brow furrowed. Before he could voice his thoughts, he caught sight of the princess approaching him, her long gown sweeping gracefully across the floor. His words faltered. The princess's captivating gaze fell upon the two scholars as she asked, "Why are you disputing?" Zhang Shen and Li Mo Bai quickly bowed. "It's merely a disagreement about a poem meant to inspire learning." Her eyes drifted to the notice on the wall, and a hint of intrigue flickered in her expression. A fine poem indeed. After a brief pause, she added softly, "Who was the author?" Zhang Shen insisted, "It was penned by my pupil." "Well, yes, the poem, Farewell to Xu Qi'an by the Mianyang Pavilion, is attributed to him as well. The skilled apprentice from Chongyang County." The princess' interest piqued, her intuition sharpening. "His name is Xu Qi'an," Li Mo Bai provided, adding, "and he is also my disciple." The name resonated with the princess, though she couldn't quite recall the context. A talent such as he, reduced to being a mere scribe in Chongyang. It seemed unjust for such a gifted poetic soul to be overlooked. Even if he only excelled in poetry, he possessed the potential to serve well in the court as an aide. The princess pondered silently. The academy students, positioned at a distance, witnessed the princess's ethereal beauty, a quality that elevated her above the mundane world. "Where is he?" she inquired sincerely, scanning the room. "Out for a stroll in the mountains," Tran Tai replied. As they listened to the conversation, the students buzzed with excitement, finally realizing who had crafted the inspiring poem in question. Chapter 42. The Saint and His Bride. A cold mountain breeze swept through the ancient forest, causing the dry branches to crackle ominously. On a narrow, verdant stone path, Xu Qi'an tilted his head, watching as Xu Tan strolled beside him. The younger mont's robe fluttered in the wind, and his striking appearance seemed almost ethereal, like an immortal descended to the mortal realm. "That waterfall in the distance is where a legendary figure from our library once attained enlightenment," Xu Tan said, pointing. Next to it stands a stone tablet chronicling the life of a man named Qian Zhang. The waterfall trickled feebly, its winter flow reduced to a mere whisper as it cascaded into a crystal-clear pond, revealing smooth stones beneath the surface. By the water's edge stood a stone tablet, depicting a figure seated in meditation, and inscribed with the story of Qian Zhang, who lived 600 years ago during the founding period of the Great Phoenix. Back then, the emperor was blind to his people's sufferings, and the officials were corrupt, treating the common folk like livestock. Discontent brewed, and rebels rose in every corner of the land. The Daizu dynasty was embroiled in a protracted struggle against these dissidents, and the lives of the commoners were a misery. Qian Zhang, a scholar of high repute, traveled for 3 years, witnessing the suffering, and he was filled with righteous anger. He marched to the capital of Daizu, determined to shatter the oppressive fate that loomed over the kingdom with his own blood and flesh. Then the Great Phoenix rose to power, restoring peace and prosperity to the 4 seas, Xu Tan concluded. "Is a scholar that formidable?" Xu Qi'an asked, skepticism lacing his voice. "I've yet to see such impressive qualities in the 3 major scholars I've encountered." Xu Tan furrowed his brow. "Who told you they were of the 2nd rank? They're merely at the 4th rank of the Junzi stage. Yet they still dare call themselves scholars of worth." Xu Qi'an's disbelief was evident. Sitting by the pond, Xu Qi'an washed his hands and explained. The term scholar has two connotations. It can mean a learned person of great wisdom and renown, or it can refer to those of the second rank within the Confucian hierarchy. Our scholars here belong to the former definition. But to break the fate of a nation, even if the dynasty was waning, such deeds seem beyond mortal means. How powerful must the first rank be? Then, Xu Qi'an fell silent, pondering the implications. After a long pause, he asked respectfully, "Does the Yunlu Library have any second-rank scholars?" Xu Qi'an shook his head, regret flickering in his eyes. In the past 200 years, the highest we've produced is a third rank. The third rank is the Fate Establishment realm. When we sent off Master Ziyang recently, I overheard a teacher mention that the head of our academy is a third-rank Fate Establishment. Xu Qi'an's tone brightened. That's not too shabby. Despite their brilliance, the personalities of the three teachers seemed unrefined, lacking the gravity and seriousness he had expected. Xu Qi'an shared his thoughts with Xu Qi'an, who mused, they weren't always like that. After the Junzi stage comes the third rank, the Fate Establishment realm. It's likely related to that. Indeed, Xu Qi'an continued. Even Master Ziyang changed recently, as if he had transformed into a different person. I heard he is just half a step away from reaching the Fate Establishment stage. As the two brothers meandered without a destination, Xu Qi'an led the way to ancient relics from the 1,200-year-old academy. If it weren't for the usual prohibition against outsiders disturbing students, this place would certainly attract many visitors. Brother, Xu Qi'an paused mid-step, calling out softly. Xu Qi'an halted so he could look back at him. Xu Qi'an averted his gaze, pretending to admire the scenery. I thought long and hard yesterday. If it weren't for you, our father might have faced execution, and our family's women could have been forced into servitude. If it weren't for you, Sister Lingyue could have been in danger yesterday, very likely victimized by the Zhou family. If it weren't for you, the Xu family might still be grappling with the aftermath of survival, blissfully unaware that one day our clan could face total annihilation. Stepping away, he advanced 10 paces before whispering a single word. Thanks. In the Saints' Hall. Following his younger brother, Xu Qi'an ascended the grand steps past the incense burner and entered the hall. Under the towering red pagoda ceiling was the altar dedicated to the saint, the founder of the Yunlu Library. In the dim glow of the flickering candles, the saint stood clad in a flowing robe of deep green, his long hair tied back with an ornate headpiece. One hand rested behind his back, while the other was held before him, eyes fixed on the distant horizon. Beside him was a beautiful white deer, its coat shimmering softly, adorned with intricate patterns like clouds. Xu Qi'an pointed at the deer. That's the reason our library is named Yunlu. Xu Qi'an chuckled. Scholars truly are refined. They choose a white deer as their mount. Xu Qi'an shot his brother a glance, correcting him, not a mount, it's his bride. Excuse me. Xu Qi'an blinked in disbelief, re-examining the statue. What's the difference? Regardless, it's still something to ride, he thought but dared not voice his opinion aloud. Seemingly aware of Xu Qi'an's thoughts, Xu Qi'an elaborated, according to the records in the Yunlu Chronicles, this white deer is a spirit beast. After listening to the sage's teachings, it transformed into a person and became the saint's lifelong companion. They've been together since childhood, sharing a deep bond, and were married by the sage himself. He believed love knows no boundaries. With genuine affection, even a human and spirit beast can live together eternally. Historically, relationships between humans and spirit beasts often bore ill-fated titles, such as Cursed Knight or Hero of the Wilds. So what name belonged to the saint? just, the deer's bride. Xu Qi'an smirked, offering a quiet bow to the statue. As Xu Tian respectfully paid homage to the saint, Xu Qi'an's gaze wandered around the hall, noticing 2 stone tablets flanking the altar. One was blank, while the other bore an inscription. He approached the carved tablet, murmuring the words, "A righteous son's loyalty repays the emperor's grace," leaving a fragrant name for all generations Cheng Wei. The writing was exquisite, neither flamboyant nor brash, exuding an unmistakable aura of a true gentleman. This was left by the saint of the National Academy, Xu Tian said as he stood beside his brother, reading the tablet's inscription. Saint of the National Academy, I feel a bit clueless about the conflict between the National Academy and the Yunlu Library, Xu Qi'an admitted, curiosity gleaming in his eyes. Glancing around to ensure privacy, Xu Tian lowered his voice. This tale dates back to the foundational disputes 2 centuries ago. Foundational disputes? Despite his ignorance of history, Xu Qi'an grasped that such disputes typically revolved around power. The crown prince, he was the key to the kingdom's foundation. Competing for that role could mean a fierce internal struggle. At that time, the Emperor Ren ruled, but the position of crown prince had remained vacant for over a decade. 2 princes vied for the position. One was the eldest son and the other the favored illegitimate son of a beloved concubine. That concubine was fair and captivating, drawing the emperor's affections. Ren aimed to elevate the illegitimate son, but was met with resounding opposition from the entire court of civil and military officials. Numerous decrees were issued and then revoked by the council, all while the leading voices were from the Yunlu Library. Establishing the eldest over the younger, naming the legitimate over the illegitimate, had been a long-standing protocol. Even emperors must heed it, Xu Tian interjected. Indeed, it's a mantra frequently recited by scholars. The struggle persisted, neither side yielding, for 6 long years. During this time, the leading chancellor changed 4 times, and a staggering number of officials, over 200, were replaced in the capital and provinces alike.
Thanks for listening till the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter.